So, what is your fight experience thus far? Like, how many fights do you have? How many here have you fought in Thailand since you're...
I have not fought in Thailand since there. I've only been there twice. Once in 2002 and once 2007, 2008. Sitting with the trainer there when we did fair tax. Fight experience 3 and 6. 3 wins, 6 loss. I have another exhibition in Smoker. So I mean, I've been in the ring good amount.
Yeah. And do you space them out pretty well, or they seem to be pretty consistent?
They were up until maybe last year. Now it seems like I'm fighting a lot more. So just recently, this year I fought a bunch. Just recently, maybe 4 in the past. So far this year, then I have another one next week in Puerto Rico, then October 17th in New York, and then this November was supposed to be possibly Friday night fights, and December Friday night fights. So
That's cool.
it's turning out to be pretty consistent, which is nice.
Do you promote yourself, or do you have different connections, or how do you find your fights?
They usually contact me. So the one for Puerto Rico is Jonas Nunez. Jonas Nunez. He works a lot with the guys out in Long Island, Deer Park, Starflight, and I forget the other promotion. So he's usually the ref or the announcer there. He has his own gig. He's always taking people down to Puerto Rico to fight. So he called me and asked me about that one. And then it's just such a small community in New York with TaeKwonDo and Justin that they know all the local fighters that are around. And
It's still rare though to have so many fights coming your way, and then to be a woman and getting lots of fights coming your way. And so it's pretty cool that you get to be on so many cards.
It is, and I think where you don't feel that is your weight. You know, I think I'm more of a average type weight, where I could go from 118 like I did when I went low on that one to 125, 130, which I'd rather not go any higher than 25. But I think it's more of an average kind of weight that you're going to see more.
Yeah. Do you attribute it at all to having your own gym? Because you've had this for a couple of years now, or
no? We're just about a year and a half now. We just April last year we started. Maybe it could be that because I try and get out there a little bit more and let just us known as a gym, not just for my own personal gain on it, personal fights, but just because now I do have a business that I have to want to try and make work. It's my passion.
Yeah.
So I do try and contact people a little bit more, let them know we're out there, and say, hey, listen, we got a lot of new beginners. Contact me if you have fights. We might have someone for you. We might have some new beginners. And I'll say we have a few active fighters, mentioning myself, Sip, and a couple other girls that we have now are active. So I'll tell them kind of who we have.
Yeah. Do you try to get people in the ring kind of early?
Not unless I don't see they should be.
Right.
If I know someone does have potential and they just have, a good knack at Muay Thai. One of our guys, Jacob McCandles, was awesome. He's athletic. He catches on really well. He has a great build for it. We got him in probably within a few months of him training.
Wow.
He was in here training every day for a couple hours. Another girl, Rachel, super confident, super tall, very fit, very athletic, wants to get in there. She'll get in there with anyone.
Yeah.
But she has a lot of martial arts background too, mostly point sparring, but wants to get in there. Wants to learn from her fights a lot and not just learn from training. So she has the right mindset that you can tell who has, who's driven to really be in there and won't get straight away from losing or, just not performing how they would want to. But I think some people get in there too early.
Yeah. I was really surprised when I went to Thailand and you just see this consistent fighting. People go in who are not that amazing, but you just fight again or you don't. You just kind of wait. It's really not as built up as it is in the States.
For Thais or for Farang?
For Thais. I mean, Farang get in there for, the Thai experience or whatever when they really have no business being there. But the kids, little kids who just started.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we compete in baseball?
Yeah.
How often do we have soccer matches growing up?
Yeah.
Probably every 2 weeks there's a scrimmage or something. That's the same thing to them.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit harder on them where they're going to quit in their mid-20s and said, we can still play soccer and baseball up until we're 40, 50, 60, as long as we can move around. So it's a very sudden and quick sport almost for them. You're all into it, then all of a sudden you're the trainer. I think a lot of them end up fighting stop fighting early
Yeah.
because they're in there so much, and it's their livelihood. A lot of them are fighting, to put rice on their table, to get themselves through school, to
Yeah.
give them families some money.
Yeah.
So they are way more driven, where that is definitely one of their jobs.
Do you feel like you have to balance kind of in a different way training yourself, because you're clearly still pursuing and getting better and like working on yourself, and then also being a trainer and fighting? Like it's kind of this 3-branch thing that's actually pretty intense to do all three at once.
It is hard. It is tiring too. A lot of my training, I try not to hold pads too much. Try not to hold pads for too many guys, especially before a fight. But it is hard. I do try and take a lot of my clients that I have, or I have clients for regular fitness, or weight loss, or strength training, everything we do here, and for Muay Thai. I try and get a little bit out of every session that I have with one of my clients. So 6 in the morning, I'm running 2 miles with my lawyer who wants to do a 5K. So that's 2 of my miles of the day. Then at class, our 8 o'clock morning class, we go 2 miles again. So I get another run in then. And, I try and run a mile at least with all my clients. If they're doing some squats, and we get we get it, and it motivates them to kind of work out with you too. So I do get a fair amount of my running in, at least with my clients, which makes it fun. I remember before I had my clients running 6 miles all at once to get it over with on my own on the treadmill, or outside. It's kind of nice to get them talking and running and.
Do you try to find kind of a similar, I guess, morale or kind of like technique aesthetic or something among the trainers that you bring to your gym? Do you try to have like a codified sense among them, or just people who you like?
Morale for sure. I mean, morale's got to be good, and you have to have a good attitude about it. Have to be respectful to the students as you want respect back. Technique-wise, no. I like the variety, and I think me, Sip, and Britt all have a little bit of a different style of our own. So I've trained at Thailand, I've trained with different coaches, and you kind of adapt and make it your own after you train with so many people. Where, for example, me and Sip were just talking yesterday, this one person who's just starting with Muay Thai wants privates, so he doesn't really have a basis. So to get a basis, train with one person. Because if I'm telling him to throw something this way, and Sip's got an entire different way of doing something, that's okay for you or I or someone who has a good ground, has been training for a little while, to go to different trainers. We love that, to see different ways of doing things. But for beginners, it's best to stick with one person, at least just to get your basic kick and punch and keep your hands up type thing. So I like the variety.